I want you to imagine something for me. Imagine that the year is 2009. An 11-year-old child is spending the day out with their mother. They go out shopping, get some food, and afterwards this kid is told that he can get a brand new video game. Happy as can be, they go to the local game store and they come across a game, Fallout 3. The child at this time had an affinity for the game flat out too, a racing game. Mistaking this game for the sequel to his then favourite, the child gets his mother to buy this game, unaware of the major error he had just made. I never got to play the eventual release of Fallout 3, but regardless, that day is still one of my fondest memories from my childhood. Not because of the hilarity of the error that I made upon reflection, simply because I was exposed to a franchise that would help shape me as a person for nearly a decade. Welcome to How Bad Can It Be, the series where we look at games so you don't have to, and yes, we are finally looking at Fallout 3. Released in 2008, Fallout 3 was developed by Bethesda Game Studios and is published by Bethesda Softworks. With this game approaching 10 years old this very weekend, what better time is there to take a step back and look to see whether Fallout 3's half-life has been kind to it. We covered the lore of Fallout in our first review, so if you want a breakdown, go check out that video by clicking the up in the corner. The story of Fallout 3 is a very simple premise: a boy looking for his father, Liam Neeson. You begin the game being born as a resident of Vault 101. After creating a character with technology that somehow makes you look just like your dad despite your gender, you can skip forward to being a baby who can apparently unlatch baby gates before advancing your character creation by picking your special stats via this children's book. After a chat with your dad, you white flash your way forward to your 10th birthday party, where you're given the Pip-Boy 3000, a sweet roll, a copy of Grognak the Barbarian issue 14 with no missing pages, and a BB gun / shooting range combo by Liam Neeson and his mate Jonas. You flash forward again to 16, where you try to skip school, stop sexual harassment, and take a pointless yet humorous exam to add icing to your character cake. Flashing forward again to 19, you wake up before finding out that Liam Neeson has left the vault and the Overseer is coming to find you and kill you. You make your way to the exit, open the vault door, and set off into the wasteland to find your dad, Liam Neeson. I did a very summarised version of Fallout 3's intro there, but it is genuinely a fantastic opening sequence. It allows you to really develop and create your character. You have your fundamental pick your look and choose your stat screens, but these are disguised and moulded into the story itself, making it really feel like your character's being made into the person you want them to be. It doesn't just stop with the stats like most games though, with your character coming across scenarios that allow the player to come to grips with the role-playing aspect of the game, creating how the character talks to people, acts around them, and reacts to situations. Are they a good person or are they a bad person? It is a brilliant opening that until this playthrough didn't get the credit it deserves from me. I do have to stop the exposition upon leaving the vault though, as always this game is what you make of it yourself, so I don't want to ruin that for you by spouting off about late game story beats. What I can say though is that Fallout 3, like most of these games, has a large collection of side quests for you to undertake, and I've got to say, the side quests in Fallout 3 might be the best quests in the entire franchise, and are the greatest we have experienced so far in these reviews. There are so many memorable ones that you can just take part in, and I've had a blast doing them. Fallout 3's most noticeable feature when it comes to its presentation is the perspective. Quite the change from its predecessor's use of trimetric projection, Fallout 3 uses Bethesda's first/third person approach to gameplay, allowing the player to choose what perspective they prefer. While a fundamental of the franchise now, this was a massive change back in the day, as the DNA of the entire franchise was shifted to that of Bethesda's design. I even found this quote from Wired back in 2008 saying that Fallout 3 is not the game that hardcore long-time Fallout fans are hoping for. So it seems like Fallout 4 and 76 wasn't the first time people were unhappy with changes made to the franchise. I do have to say though that Fallout 3 has aged pretty badly. It's one of those games where you don't know if it'll even run properly. You may have to fiddle around with games for Windows Live Disablers just to get it to work, and even if you don't have to bother with that like me, you should probably play on lower settings than you're capable of running, just to get a playable/stable frame rate. For the sake of this recording session, this is most evident with the pop-in of things like actors, objects and grass, which became really bad at some parts of my playthrough. Combine that with the crashes that occurred for me, one of them even forcing a system reboot, and you can see that this game isn't really optimised for current day PCs. That being said, the actual graphics for the most part are perfectly fine. They hardly scratch today's standards, but they aren't really anything to turn your nose up to. Most of the textures look acceptable, honestly. Not everything is fine and dandy though, as Fallout 3's character models have that classic Bethesda smooth face. On top of this, the animations, especially the mouth animations, have not aged well at all, and may initially take you out of your immersion. Audio-wise, this game is perfectly fine. Voice acting is still crisp due to the quality cast of performers, and the actual audio design of Fallout 3 is great overall, with an amazing selection of music on the radio system, performers, and the actual audio design of Fallout 3 is great overall, with an amazing selection of music on the radio system, and good ambient sound and sound effects. The only issue I have audio-wise is the footsteps. Nothing too major, just some of them really distracted me during my gameplay. The gameplay of Fallout 3 was a drastic change to the previous installments. Gone are the slow pace and tactical requirements of Fallout 1 and 2, instead we have a much more involved and faster pace, far more suiting the first/third person perspective that Bethesda have chosen. This greatly improves player engagement, especially with the character that you play. Instead of simply being presented with situations that you have to work around, you're now experiencing these situations through more direct means, generating a cathartic response which greatly improves your evolution as the character. This allows for much faster and personal reactions, which can go a long way to immersing you in the game world. This increase in immersion directly affects the way the skills from Fallout 1 and 2 are implemented. Gone is the clunky uses of theft, lockpicking and stealth via the skill decks. Instead, all of these skills are directly implemented to the gameplay experience, being able to do them whenever you want without pausing the flow of gameplay and your engagement. There is one major issue I find in Fallout 3 though, and that is the combat, or well, more specifically it's the gunplay. The gunplay in Fallout 3 was built from the ground up and it definitely shows through gameplay, with hardly any of the weapons in this game feeling like there's any weight to them. Good gunplay always makes sure that each shot feels like it has impact corresponding to the weapon. In Fallout 3, this is barely existent, with the BB gun feeling pretty damn similar to the hunting rifle, the only difference being in the sound. I guess that leaves me with one question though. Fallout 3, how bad can it be? Fallout 3, its issues aside, is a very engaging experience and one that I'm very glad I got to sit down and play. It's very rare for me to want more of a game during this series, and Fallout 3 engaged me so much that I just wanted to keep going. And I'm probably just going to go back to it after all of these Fallout games are done. Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition currently sits at £14.99 on Steam, and if you want to look past some of the issues that Fallout 3 does have, it's more than worth that price tag, especially with all the DLC. If you aren't sure whether you want to take the risk though, the most recent sale price was £8.99, and that is certainly worth it and should definitely put your mind and wallet at ease a little bit more. Due to its optimization issues, Fallout 3 sits at 79% on Steam, and whilst that is far from awful all things considered, it's understandable nonetheless. In contrast to this though, we have the Metacritic rating, which is very commendable at 91%. This game is absolutely excellent, and I know for a fact that I will be going back for more after I'm done with these Fallout reviews. That being said though, 10 years on, this game is not in the shape that it once was, and it is impossible to ignore that. With that being said, I'm giving Fallout 3 an 8.5 out of 10. This game is an absolute blast to play, and the positives of this game far outweigh the negatives, but those negatives cannot be ignored, and especially with a major problem like its optimization issues or its gunplay, I couldn't justify giving this game a score any higher than 8.5. Well, that's all I got time for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video review of Fallout 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not click that thumbs up right there? It's a good way to let me know that you enjoy what I do. When starting these Fallout reviews, the Fallout series that we're doing for 76, the road to 76, Fallout 3 was the first one that came to my mind. It seemed like the perfect excuse to fully invest myself in this world again. Something that I haven't done in many years, and I think that's kind of a shame, honestly. And I could never be bothered to get the game to work on PC because it's such a hassle, and it really is a shame. But Fallout 3 is my game. You know, everyone has that one game that means a lot to them, and it kind of brings them into the world of gaming. It's kind of like the gateway drug into this industry, this crazy and like industry that we all love and that we all want to take part in a bit more, and Fallout 3 was definitely my game. If it wasn't for that one mistake I made nearly a decade ago, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be doing what I do, and I wouldn't be such a massive fan of this franchise. I probably wouldn't get along with the people that I get along with. And I owe all of that to this game and Bethesda, quite frankly. It's very rare, like, and obviously there's more things to it, but if I were to name one thing that really shifted my life, it would be Fallout 3, and I'm very grateful for that. And this series really allowed me to recapture that love that I had all those years ago when I first picked up this game, and it's just been a fantastic experience for me. If you haven't played Fallout 3 though and want to, do not worry. Down below in the description there are links to Steam, GOG and Humble Bundle. Subscribe today for future VividChim content and make sure you hit that bell to be notified as soon as a video goes live. If you want more content right now though, why not click one of the things that have just appeared on screen? They'll take you straight to other videos. As always, I've been Kane from VividChim.